This is made almost entirely of cardboard. It has working lights, spinning rotor, even a missile launcher. And honestly, I thought the launcher would be the hardest part, but it wasn't. It started with a drawing my 6-year-old did. Broke the Apache down into pieces that I could actually make from cardboard. Then it was just a matter of seeing if I could turn this into this. Before I could build the helicopter though, I needed something to put inside it, so I started with the missile launcher. The basic mechanism was pretty simple, but getting everything to fit was a little bit more complicated. I needed the motors, the gears, the wiring, the launcher mechanism, everything had to work together. It had to be small enough to eventually fit inside the helicopter. So I built the base first, adding the motor and the gear, and then I started putting the mechanism together. I had to make a few adjustments to get everything lined up and moving smoothly, but eventually I had a launcher. And it actually worked. Now came the part I was actually worried about. I had the working launcher, but somehow I had to hide it inside the helicopter. So I started building the body around it. And once the launcher was in place, I could finally start making this thing look like an Apache. Next came the rotors. These were pretty thin, so I spent some time to make sure they were going to be stiff and robust. I built the blades and eventually mounted them in the center on a little motor. And this is one of those moments where the project finally started to look like a helicopter. Then I turned it on, and thankfully they spun. With the basic structure working, I went back to the electronics. The lights, the wiring, the switches, all the little pieces that actually made the model do something. Of course, fitting everything inside the cardboard helicopter meant there wasn't exactly a lot of extra room. Slowly, the empty space inside the helicopter started to disappear. At this point, the helicopter could move, it could launch, it could fire. Now I just had to finish the thing. The last part was putting on the details. Put the cockpit pieces on, the small panels, the little shapes that made it recognizable as Apache instead of just a cardboard helicopter. I also had to decide what to do with the finish. I could paint the whole thing and make it look more realistic, but in the end I decided I liked seeing the cardboard. What would you have done? Would you have painted it or would you leave it as is? After all that, this was the finished Apache. But there's still one thing I had to find out. Would the launcher actually work on the finished helicopter? And if you're wondering, this is how many tries it took to get the mechanism to work. A lot.